Your future self is being funded or sabotaged by your daily decisions. And those decisions are being made by who you believe you are, your identity. Welcome to video 9 of 10 of the Spend Like You Mean It series. The title of this video and the topic is Spend Like the Person You Say You Want to Be. I think this might be the most powerful video of all 10 because identity is the strongest force in humans. I'll share a quick personal story. Some of you know, maybe some of you may not know, I was an alcoholic for 15 years. Battled this addiction on and off for 15 years. As I stand here today, I've been sober almost exactly 10 years, almost exactly a decade. Oh, I just got goosebumps sharing that. I remember when I started my journey and I was sober for about 7, 8 months at the time. Someone pushed me. I can still picture his face. He pushed me at a gathering. It was almost like a networking event of some sort and said, "Come on, Matt, have one. Look around. Everybody is having one." And I let him go for a little bit. He kept pushing, "Matt, just have, you can have one. Like, let me get you half a glass of wine. You could just have one." I finally said, "Listen, that is not who I am. That's it." It was around a group. It sounded like this. You could hear a pin drop. That is not who I am. My identity did not relate with somebody that would drink a drop. And he pushed on my identity until I decided to hammer him back in front of a group of people. I don't regret it though. That's who I am. That is a part of who I am is I am a sober, healthy man. Boom, and I will defend it with everything. It's very similar as we will talk about money. And we're going to get into it. And I want to get into it with, we're going to paint two pictures and two futures where it's a similar income, but different decisions can create massively different outcomes. And another piece of it is a lot of times they're not that big of decisions that can create huge outcomes over the course of many years. Let me hit you with this one. And this is according to different studies and different research. I know all the numbers are different, but this particular research report says that the average income in the United States of America, and this is as of 2026, I shouldn't say that, this is as of 2025, was $74,500 a year. That's the average income for, I believe it's an individual income, $74,500 across the United States of America in 2025. The average spending per year, you ready for this one? Average income, 74,500. Average spending, 78,500 in the United States. The average spending is $4,000 more than income. I can tell you right now, that is a recipe for a disaster, short term and absolutely long term. Now, let's say you're watching this or you're listening to this and you're right similar to the average. You make $74,500 a year. There's only two ways to improve this equation. It's very simple. If you want to, and I assume that you want to because you wouldn't listen to these videos as we're talking about money in these if you didn't want to improve in this area. There's only two ways to do it. You either reduce the spending or you increase your income. Or if you're a complete stud, you do both. The question is, what is your identity? That's a massive question. If it's these averages, like I just gave you, then your identity may be deep down at your core. I'm just someone who lives paycheck to paycheck. And that's just how it is. That's always how it's been. And that's just always the way that it's going to be. Sidebar here, or not sidebar, but a little note. You'll never win with that belief. Spoiler, you will never win with that belief. Project that out. You're spending $4,000 more than you're earning. In 10 years, you're now $40,000 more in debt, and probably even more than that as that gap continues to widen. And the pain will be so much worse in 10 or 20 years now than it is in this moment. It's going to feel so much worse. Why do I say that? Why would I want you to feel that pain now? Because that's how you shift. That's how you make a change. If you feel enough pain now and you focus on how much worse the pain will be in 10 years, that creates the urgency in this moment to make a shift. The person who thinks, I do live paycheck to paycheck now, but I want to become someone who earns much more than they spend, is completely different and will have a wildly different outcome in 20 years. The question is, are you willing to take the action that aligns with a new and improved identity for yourself? That's the question. Remember, identity is the driving force. It is the strongest force within humans that we feel we have to remain true to who we think we are. If you think you're somebody that lives paycheck to paycheck, that's a piece of your identity. I think it's time to smash that to pieces. I don't know if you remember the story I told way early on in this video series. There's a guy who cut hair for a living. I don't think he ever made more than $30,000 a year. He died and had over 3 million. I think it was 2 to 3 million. Kids and nieces and nephews couldn't believe it. Why? Because he decided, I'm going to change my identity. I don't make a lot of money, but I'm going to be somebody that lives below what I make, and I'm going to create wealth for generations to come. And he did that. Now, there's a fine line because I think he could have spent more and enjoyed more of it while he was alive, but also he hit the goal. He changed his identity. He became somebody that earned more than he spent, and he put the rest away and let it grow over time. The question is, are you willing to part with that current identity that says, this is just how it is? My wife and I, or my husband and I, this is just how we've lived our lives. It's paycheck to paycheck. It is what it is. We have a child on the way. We'll probably spend more because of that, and it'll just continue to snowball. And that's just how it has to be. That's not how it has to be, period. That is not how it has to be. That's how some belief got ingrained in you 20, 30, 40 years ago, and that is crap. That is not true. You can be the one to change your family tree, period, end of story. I've seen it at all income levels. Yes, some people have taken more drastic measures. Some people are like, I don't care. I'm selling the house. I'm selling the cars. I'm selling all of our crap. We're downsizing. We're buying these used cars that are 10 years old. And guess what? They do that. They sacrifice for 1, 3, 5 years, and then they dominate for the next 50. They change their identity. Will you? What will it take? Because guess what? It is possible. How do I know that? Because I've seen countless examples of people that have done it. And I would bet for the most part, maybe not everyone, but for the most part, they're in a worse situation than you are currently. You can do this too if you take it seriously. get fired up here. This is just the identity topic is so powerful. We want to hammer this home. What's the shift? One of the shifts, of course, is identity. One of the shifts is short term pleasure to shift that to long term identity. Yes, you could buy whatever it is, continue living paycheck to paycheck. You can upgrade your car every 2 years. You can buy a bigger TV. You can expand the pool out back. You can buy a bigger boat, bigger cars. What you can continue to do that and live broke. And by the way, this may hurt the most. If you have kids, teach them these horrible money habits because that's going to be how they live their lives. I've seen that so many times, and it's so painful. The shift is, can we have a little bit of minor sacrifice short term to drastically improve our long-term identity? And if you didn't catch the rest of these videos, there's tons of different ways to do this. If your average income is $74,500, you're spending $78,500. Step one could be you just download some budgeting app and you connect it to your bank and you see where your spending's going. Or you just look at your bank or credit card statement, look at the charges, just look at them. Without judgment, you just look at them. Because by looking at them, it'll start to ingrain in you, wow, we didn't have to spend there. We didn't have to spend there. We didn't have to upgrade there. And now you're conscious. Now you're intentional and everything starts to shift. The shift is from short-term pleasure to your long-term identity. And the action is one simple action I'll leave you with is before spending this question. Does this match who I'm becoming? Who I'm becoming is your future identity, your current identity that's improving, and your future identity. Does this match who I'm becoming? Or if you're married and have a family, does this match who we are becoming? Does this match how we want to treat our or teach our kids? Does this match the identity that we want to have as a family core unit? And if it doesn't, you have the discipline to not do it because it removes some emotion out of it and puts the strategy into it. I hope this is helping. This whole concept of identity, you can feel the passion in me, hopefully, because it is the strongest force in humans to remain aligned with who we think we are. We can change that. We can expand our identity. You can improve this situation no matter what the situation is. It just takes some decisions and takes some intentional action. I love you. I hope this helps. If it does, like, subscribe. Please comment. Send some comments. I want to see them and respond to them and continue to help out. Video 9 of 10, the final video, which is next week, is how to control your money without obsessing over it. Because there can be, I've been one of them. I probably can be one of them. You can ask my wife. You can obsess over money too much. The topic is so interesting because I think to an extent it does create freedom. And I crave freedom for our family and for you and your family and your loved ones. I want that more than anything. Hope this helps. We will see you all next week, and never forget that challenges build champions.